Time series is a very broad topic in statistics, and the reason is that they are present all around us. And the time series is basically a sequence of data points which are measured typically at successive points in time spaced at uniform time intervals. So you could think of hourly observations, daily observations, annual observations, even measuring something regularly at every microsecond is also a time series. So for instance, prices of stocks or stock indices, or maybe measurements of annual flow volume of River Nile. So time series are normally represented just as line charts so that you can see how the values of the time series have been changing over time. And they are used in statistics, signal processing, pattern recognition, econometrics, mathematical finance, weather forecasting, and so on. We could list here hundreds or thousands of applications where time series are present and key to, for instance, predicting phenomena. Time series analysis comprises methods for analyzing time series data in order to extract meaningful statistics and other characteristics of the data. So in time series analysis, we aim at finding relationships between specific value, data value, and its historical values. And then based on that analysis and based on the model identified from the relationships, then we move on to time series forecasting, which is then the attempt to predict future values based on those relationships that we have found. And this differentiates time series from regression analysis because in regression analysis, even though we were also looking at relationships between data points, the data points could be ordered in any way because they were not dependent on time. So if you try to explain people's wages based on their education level, you can list your data or you can list your people in the data set in any order and you will still get the same model. But in time series, that temporal order, so the fact that specific observations appeared after or before other ones, that's what defines the time series. And here are just some few examples of time series. So we have, for instance, historical data and forecast of some observation. So the whole idea is that you build a model first, and based on that model, you'll be able to actually predict future values. Some real time series here we have from some region values of temperature, dew point, and humidity, daily observations. And you can see that quite often time series which are somewhat related by the substance also are related in their values. So like in here we can see very clear negative correlation between humidity and temperature. Another example is the rainfall in millimeters from 2 different years for a specific region. Monthly prices of something, or maybe monthly values of invoice you're paying for some utilities, that also forms time series. So we have here monthly bill for electricity for average residential customers from 3 different companies. And finally, prices received for corn by month in United States as dollars per bushel. So this is also a time series, and as you could see, usually time series are represented as a line chart.